are you all doing? How are you guys doing today? How is everyone? How is everyone? Go ahead and type some energy, guys, in the chat. Type some energy in the chat. I'm super excited. How are you guys doing today? Where are you guys calling in from? Where are you guys calling in from? Let me know where you guys are calling in from. I'm super excited for this lesson today. It's so God is so faithful. I want to tell you guys, it's such an amazing thing to be able to have access. and when I say access to your creator. It's an amazing thing to have access to your creator because he always gives you a way, right? Guys, let me get one. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Bear with me 1 second. Let me get this organized. Bear with me 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and have my team go ahead and kind of welcome you guys. In the meantime, just give me a minute so I can get this up. I see one of the team member on here, Deanna. I'll let you go ahead and drop a word for them real quick. Let me get this video going. I need everybody to be on point tonight. So give me a second, okay?
Welcome, y'all. It is not too late. Go ahead, reach out.
I am ecstatic, ladies and gentlemen. It is a powerful, powerful day. This call this evening is going to be amazing. Go ahead. You have some time. Got some time. Go ahead and grab your people. Get your people on because the information that you guys are going to hear today, it's so powerful. I'm excited about it. Sometimes you got to you got to be excited. I mean, it's good to be excited. It's good to be happy. It's good to be joyful because, there's so much to be joyful for. There's so much that's happening in our lives that we should be joyful for. So I want to thank you all for jumping on. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being a part of this movement. I'm super excited about it. Super excited about just being able to teach and make sure you all are in the right space. So grab your pen and your pad.
It is. I don't know, man. This is just a teaser, okay? This is just a teaser. I see it's coming back on, but I'm telling you guys, you do not want to miss today's session. So go ahead, reach out to friends, family, whoever it is, and let them know that they need to be jumping on today's session. Because I'm telling you guys, if more people did this in this world, we would be having a lot less problems, a lot less wars, and we have a lot more millionaires. So not even Mr. Buster, back on your head. Take it away, sir.
Awesome. Guys, thank you. Look, we are going to push. We're going to jump on here and move forward because I'm big on punctuality and I love it. If you guys are joining, some of you, whoever's on YouTube, Clubhouse, wherever you guys are across the social platforms, thank you for joining today. I'm super excited about today's call. Now, why am I so excited about today's summit? It is because, it's great to be excited. It's so great to be in such a great mood. So somebody should really say that to themselves and tap yourself and say, self, it's great to be in a great mood. Tap yourself. Just do one of those tap, wake yourself up. It's been a long day. Shake it off. Let's shake it off a little bit. Just shake it off a little bit, guys. Wake yourself up. It's great to be in a great mood. It is great to be in a great mood. And I want you guys to understand how serious that is. It is great to be in a great mood. Now, there is so much happening in the time that we're in. We've gone through so much as a world together. See, normally, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is somebody is going through something. And that somebody, it's normally a lot of people worldwide, but we normally don't know what they're going through. But see, over the last, I would say 2 years now, right? Over the last 2 years now, the world has been going through something collectively. So here's the thing about energy. It says where your focus goes, energy grows, right? So you may say, I am searching to achieve something, and for some reason, you are not directing the proper energy there. And you wonder why you're not getting what you seek, but you're getting the opposite. Because guess what? No matter what you do, there's going to be energy that's going somewhere, whether it be the focus of negative or positive energy. And see what happened is instead of people always saying, I'm going through a lot. I need to accomplish this. I need to do this. I need to do that. And not seeing the outcome, we had a situation that brought the world together. That focus of energy has been so big. We have a situation that brought the world together that the world is still dealing with. Whether the negative connotations of it or the positivity that came from it, or that's still coming from it. Now, here's the thing, why this topic is so important that we have today. Because in the world, so much has happened and so much is happening, and we are given instructions or told to do certain things, and many of us have not followed suit. Many of us have not utilized the instructions. Some of us have, but if you rate the percentage that has followed suit according to the world's pandemic and the focus that's been going to it, right? A lot of us have not followed suit. A lot of us at this point has said, well, I can do what I feel that protects my rights and my family. So there's a situation, there is a supposedly solution, there is information that you can research and study, but no one or the masses or a great proportion, a great amount, a great quantity did not listen. They're not listening because they believe that they have the right to do how and what they feel. Whether the outcome is negative or whether the outcome is positive. But at this point, when we look at the world's focus together, we understand what has been happening. Now, you might say, some of you might say, okay, well, Boston, you lost me here. Well, this is why this topic is so important. And if you are home, if you are in your car and you're beside someone, you want to grab your pen and pad, you want to put it in your notes, because we're going to talk about a two-part to this, because I'm not going to cover it all today. I'm not going to cover it all today. It's very important for me not to do that. You heard that? It's very important for me not to cover it all today. Now, in my studies, I was given a task over the last month or so, maybe a little less. I was given a task. The task came, and I had to make the decision, right? I had to make the decision as to whether I will do the task or not. Okay? Because remember, we all have decisions that we have to make. Same thing I'm saying to most of you with deciding whether you want to do something or not. Okay? So I had to decide if I want to do the task or not. So I decided to do the task. What was the task? One of the tasks was for me to dive deep into the studies of a few books. One of the tasks was for me to dive deep into the studies of a few books. Now, it wasn't reluctantly I decided to move forward. I pondered and said, okay, of these books, I've read 2 of them. But obviously, there is something I am missing. There is something I did not grab. There is something I need to pick. But as I read on the book that I've never read, in its depth and its studies, this came to life. And I said, wow, I'll pause and study on this. And what is that came to life? Listening. Listening, but not just listening. Today's topic of the Leadership Summit is effective listening. You can put a hyphen, effective listening skills. Effective listening skills. I said, wow, this jumped out at me. Now, I would love to see you all's face from some of the videos I'm looking at, because I want that energy that needs to transcend to reach you. I want you to get what you need to get from what you're hearing today. See, in all the things that was happening, in everything, something said, look, this is what's happening in the world. But I was tasked to do something. And in the process, something came out. So I said, wow, this is what I needed to pick. Now there's going to be more things as I keep diving, but this is what I needed to pick. So I said, ooh, this is not just about me. This is about the world. Effective listening. Effective listening. I want you guys to understand that. Effective listening. Now, some of you right now, you're like, okay, all right, okay, he's saying effective listening. What is this effective listening? Okay, effective listening. What is it? He keeps talking about this effective. Now, most of what we do, right, whether we are in line of a business, we're in a group setting with a skill set as people trying to learn or whatever it is, right? When we get together and we're trying to do something as a whole, one of the key things that we need to do is listen, right? See, but there's a difference between hearing and understanding. There's a difference between hearing and understanding. Hearing and understanding the words someone is saying and listening to their message. See, listening to your partner, meaning hubby, wife, business partner, friend, or your coworkers, is vital. It is vital to maintaining good conversation and avoiding misunderstandings that may lead to unnecessary conflict. And I just said that we have all these things that's happening in the world, and the focus is on all that has happened. And we have the avenues and the information. A lot of us, what are we not doing? We are not listening, right? So listen to this. The listening process, ladies and gentlemen, the listening process, for those who are scholars in writing, the listening process involves 4 steps. The listening process involves 4 steps. 1, receiving. 2, understanding. 3, evaluating. And 4, responding. Say that again. Say that again. The listening process involves 4 steps. See, 4 steps. Receiving, understanding, evaluating, and responding. Okay? See, basically, an effective listener must hear and identify the speech sounds directed toward them. Woo! Maybe y'all might have missed that. An effective listener must hear and identify, right, the speech sounds directed towards them. Understand the message of those sounds. Ooh, right now y'all are like, okay, really? Understand the message of those sounds. I said the speech sounds. Understand the message of those sounds. Critically evaluate or assess that message. Keyword, critically. Critically evaluate or assess that message. See, remember what's been said. That's key. Remember what's been said. And respond. Either verbal verbally or non-verbally. Respond either verbally or non-verbally. So when you respond verbally or non-verbally, you're going to be responding to information they've received. That's as a person, you've received this information and you'll respond verbally or non-verbally to the information you've received. See, effectively engaging with all 5 stages of the listening process, let us best gather the information we need from others. There goes that word effectively again. There goes that word effectively. Effectively engaging with all 5 stages of the listening process. So listening, we talking stages in listening. We're talking about stages in listening. You guys got that? Because we're listening and we talk about receiving, we're talking about understanding, evaluating, and responding, right? So we're talking about listening. Now, for those who are taking notes, the next one is receiving. Receiving. For those who are taking notes, receiving. I need you to understand the importance of receiving. You know, paired with hearing, attending is the other half of receiving in stage in the listening process. Attending, right, is the other half. It is the other half of receiving, right, in that listening process. See, attending is the process of accurately identifying and interpreting particular sounds we hear as words. Somebody heard attending a while ago and they probably said to themselves, what do you mean? Talking about showing up to the place? No, I'm talking show up. Let me back up. Y'all want to, I might have to do James Brown. I've been in some James Brown mood for the whole season. I want to be, get with me. James Brown, get with me. I feel like James right now. For y'all who don't know who James Brown is in another country, Google him. Google is your best friend. You know what I mean? I feel like James right now. See, I said attending. Attending is the process of accurately identifying and interpreting particularly sounds we hear as words. Y'all don't even understand. There was tears coming down my eyes while I've been in the study of these 3 books. And when I jumped into that book, it was so deep. Guys, it was so deep. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put it down. I was saying, oh my gosh. Our problems lies in not being an effective listener. So now I said, well, here's the thing. Since I've been tasked, I got to go deep because I don't want to just tell somebody that you're not an effective listener. I deserve a slap. That's why I said it. Because if I said you're not an effective listener, I need to break down what I need so that you will understand. So when I said attending, it says it's the process of accurately identifying and interpreting particular sounds we hear as words. See, the sound we hear have no meaning. Listen to this. Oh, jeez. The sounds we hear has no meaning until we give them the meaning in context. The sounds we hear, ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand something. I can take my glass right now, and I can take a knife and hit it, you know, when you do the toast, right? But if you didn't know that hitting the glass with a knife represents he's about to do a toast, you just hearing sounds. I don't think y'all hearing me. I don't think y'all are hearing me. If you didn't know that what it means when someone stood up, when they stand up and they take a knife and hit the glass, all you're hearing is the sound. And that sound, you can then put it to the wrong context. But because you heard the sound and you know what it means, whatever, if you didn't know what it means, at that point is when, because it had no meaning until you give the meaning in context. So listening is an active process that constructs meaning from both verbal and non-verbal messages. I'll say that again because I want somebody to get it. I want somebody to get it. Listening is an active process that constructs meaning from both verbal and non-verbal messages. That is what I need you to understand. I said attend. Somebody said, oh, I need to show up. I need to show up to the concert. I need to come to the building. Well, let's take you back a little bit. I need you to attend. We're having a conversation here, sir. You're standing in front of me, but you're not here. So can you attend, please? Can you attend? Attend right now in your physical. Attend in your spiritual. Attend, sir. That's what it means. Attend. Okay? You know, you grow up, your parents are talking to you, to say, pay attention. You're young and you're all over the place, you're busy. So pay attention. So it means attend, ladies and gentlemen. Attend. Now, see, this is so big because if we understand, because that's the next one, write it down. Understanding. Understanding. Understanding is the next one. Okay? Understanding is the next one. See, the second stage in the listening process is the understanding stage. See, understanding, or use this word, comprehension, is shared meaning. You hear that? It's a shared meaning between parties in a communication transaction. I'll say it again because if you missed me, right? Understanding or comprehension is a shared meaning between parties in a communication transaction and constitute the first step in listening or in the listening process. So it constitutes the first steps in the listening process. That communication transaction. Okay? This is the stage, listen to this. This is the stage during which the listener determines the context and meanings of the word he or she hears. That's what that is. And I'm really hoping some of you are taking notes because if you do, you will save yourself a lot of time, energy, and money. Systems. You'll save yourself a lot of time, energy, and money. Some of you say, what do you mean? Well, you're going to save yourself from losing your business. You're going to save yourself from maybe losing your kids. You're going to save yourself from maybe losing that great opportunity. You're going to save yourself from maybe losing that marriage. Time, energy, and money. Because you're going to lose time. You're going to spend money. Oh, yeah. And there'll be a whole lot of energy being exhausted. If you're with me, go ahead and put 7 in the chat. Because maybe I'm talking to myself. Guys, if you're with me, type with me. Wherever you are, type with me. I want to know if you guys are with me. I wonder if you guys are with me. I said, that is the stage, ladies and gentlemen, during which the listener determines the context and the meaning of the words he or she hears. That is so profound, guys. See, determining the context and meaning of individual words, as well as assigning meaning in language. I'll say that again because I want to make sure people understand that. I want to make sure you're determining the context and meaning of individual words. Notice it didn't say, oh, determine the meaning of that whole sentence. It's telling you step by step. This is what I'm giving you. Step by step, you have to climb to your second floor. You don't just hop from the bottom all the way to the top. Unless somebody in this call is Superman. Because then how are you going to show me how to get to the top? To see someone that's in direction of leadership, you got to go the way, know the way so you can show the way. So there's no skipping steps, ladies and gentlemen. There's no skipping steps. So determining the context and meaning of individual words as well as assigning meaning in language is essential to understanding sentences. That's now where sentence comes in. That's now where sentence comes in. If you're with me, type with me. If you're with me, type with me. See, that's where sentence comes in. That's where sentence comes in. People hear it like, hold on, no, I need you to listen, because we're dealing with effective listening, right? That's where the understanding and the sentence, that's where sentence comes in. This in turn, ladies and gentlemen, is essential to understanding the message of a speaker or someone that's talking to you. Because that person in front of you is a speaker. They're speaking to you. If you went to a summit and everyone was speaking on the stage, you got to understand that. Same as if your boss is speaking to you. Same as if your supervisor is speaking to you. Same as if your child, your hubby, your wife is speaking to you. Okay? This is key for you to understand. See, before getting the big picture of a message, it can be difficult to focus on what the speaker is saying before you get the full message. Because guess what? There's things that you might hear, and I'll talk about that a little later. There's things that you might hear that you don't like before you get the big picture, right? See, one tactic, ladies and gentlemen, for better understanding a speaker or someone that's talking to you is to ask questions. Ask questions. You know, effective listening. Ask questions. Ask questions that allow you as the listener to fill in any holes you may have in the mental reconstruction of what that person's message is. Ask questions. Something might have lost you. You might have been hearing something, but because you're stuck one place, you need to ask questions so that it will fill in any holes you may have. That's why I notice I said in the mental reconstruction. Because when you are listening effectively, as an effective listener, you have to reconstruct what you heard and to be able to comprehend it so that you can move to this next step. Evaluating. Write it down. Evaluating. 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 This is really key. Evaluating. Now, during the evaluation stage, the listener determines, right, whether or not the information they heard and understood from their partner or someone that's speaking to them is well constructed or disorganized. That's during the evaluation stage. Biases or biased or unbiased, true or false. These are all the things that the mind will be going through. Significant or insignificant. So I'll say it again. This is during the evaluation stage. You as the listener, you determine whether or not the information you're hearing and understood from that speaker or your partner is well constructed or disorganized, biased or unbiased, true or false, significant or insignificant. This is extremely important. This is extremely important. See, you as a person also ascertain how and why that partner or that speaker has come up with and conveyed the message that they are delivering or that they deliver to you. This is what you will ascertain, how and why, because you're evaluating. It's evaluation. Now, I want to say this to you guys. All that we're talking about so far, ladies and gentlemen, this happens so fast. So fast. You're getting the steps, but the brain processes it so fast that some of us, we must understand how to slow it down with that process to then literally isolate and evaluate. For all the people who like to watch movies here, I am a Matrix fan. So I'm super excited about The Matrix coming out. And I'm using this so you understand the analogy. If you have ever watched any of The Matrix, it's a movie by Keanu Reeves. If you've ever watched any of them, you would see that when he became what they call the One, and when the opposition literally tried to harm him, he was able to slow things down and look at them. See, all of this was happening so fast, but we are watching a movie that we are enjoying, but some of us only watched it for the action. We didn't watch it to evaluate effectively and understand what was really happening. So, see, this is what the process is that's going on in the mind when you're evaluating. Whether it be, as I mentioned to you, you're hearing what this person is saying and you're diagnosing whatever is constructed bias or unbiased, truth or false, significant, insignificant, you're doing that. Then you ascertain how and why that speaker came up or conveyed that message that they delivered. How did you come up with this? You know, some of you who, and I didn't get to that area yet, some of you who start saying, how did you come up with that? Or your child come to you and, Mommy, I just need such and such and such. And you're like, how did he or she come up with that, right? Because see, this is what the mind is doing. The mind is literally finding out, okay, is this constructed information? Is it constructive? Is it disorganized? Is it biased? Is it unbiased? This is the mind, ladies and gentlemen. This is the process. It's the process to get there. Clarity of understanding. See, this may involve considerations of a partner, personal or professional motivations and goals. You asked about how they conveyed it. How did that message, how was it construed? How was it conveyed? And I said, this may involve, right, considerations of a partner, a speaker, right? Personal and professional motivations and goals. So you're evaluating, so you have to evaluate, and you have to evaluate effectively. If you guys are with me, type with me. You got to evaluate effectively. If you're with me, type with me. If you're with me, type with me. You got to evaluate effectively. See, an example, a listener may determine that maybe a coworker is forgetting to clean off their table. Let me give you guys another example. You said the coworker doesn't want to clean off their table, and that's factually incorrect. But may also understand that the coworker, ladies and gentlemen, child is at home sick, and that may be putting them on edge. So that coworker is not thinking about doing what you saw that might have been irritable. Do you understand? If you understand, type understand. I want to make sure you guys are with me. See, a voter who listens, to and understands the point made in a political candidate or their speech can decide whether or not those speech or that speech, right, those points were convincing enough to earn their votes. Isn't that what most of you do? You listen and you want to know? Well, I would hope that you do that and not just go with the wave because everybody said they like him. Woo! Because everybody said they like her. Woo! You have to effectively listen and understand the points made. This is why this is so key for us to have this dialogue today. This is why this is so powerful, because we have a world focus on something that has brought everyone to their knees, but there is information, there is solutions, there's different things that came up, but a lot of us then pull the card out of what we believe we should do because we didn't effectively listen. We didn't do our research. We're going by all the critically acclaimed videos and different things that's coming in from all over the world saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. When you're in an informational technological age, for you to do the research, for you to read and effectively listen to the things, to understand it, to evaluate it. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. See, having a clear understanding of your partner, of your CEO, of your boss message, allows you as a listener to evaluate that message without getting boggled down in an ambiguity or spending unnecessary time and energy addressing points that may put you in a position that's otherwise non-essential, because now you're wasting time. You're wasting time. So evaluating is key. Evaluating is extremely important. Now, after you've gone through that step, remember, listening. You went through the listening process, receiving, understanding, right? Evaluating. Now, ladies and gentlemen, responding. Write it down, responding. This is important. Responding is so key for us to have this dialogue again, because this is so important for us in the world today, ladies and gentlemen. We miss so big when we are not allowing ourselves to be effective listeners. So now you're at the responding. And responding, ladies and gentlemen, the responding stage is the stage of the listening process in which the listener provides verbal and or nonverbal reactions. That's where that responding goes. It is the stage of listening, of that same listening process in which the listener provides verbal and nonverbal reaction. This is key. See, a listener can respond to what they hear either verbally or nonverbally. A listener can respond to what they hear verbally or non-verbally. See, this is very important for us to understand. This is extremely important for us to understand. Okay? See, non-verbal signals can include gestures, such as nodding. You know, you can be nodding your head, making eye contact. You guys know some of the gestures, right? Tapping a pen, you know how that goes. You sitting at the table, you just tapping that pen away. Mr. White is laughing, absolutely. Fidgeting, you know, scratching, or, you know, cocking their heads back, or whatever it may be, smiling, rolling your eyes, you know, grimacing, or any other body language, right? These are nonverbal communications, right? Nonverbal responses. See, these kind of response can be displayed purposefully or involuntarily. That is what I need you to get now. These type of response can be, right, displayed purposefully or involuntarily. See, responding verbally might involve asking a question, requesting additional information, redirecting or changing the focus of the conversation, you know, cutting off a speaker or repeating what a speaker has said back to him or her in order to verify that the received message matches the intended message. Ooh, I'm hoping you heard that. I'm hoping you heard that. Repeating what a person says back to them in order to verify that received message matches the intended message. Because see, it's extremely important to understand that. Very important to understand. Received and intended message. See, nonverbal responses, guys, like nodding or eye contact, allows the listener to communicate their level of interest without interrupting the speaker. Someone is talking, right? You're giving them the opportunity to finish or say what they need to say. So it allows you to not interrupt the speaker, thereby preserving the speaker's time, the role, whatever the speaker has to do. Give the speaker that time to finish what they need, right? See, when a listener responds verbally to what they hear, and remember, for example, with a question or a comment, when that listener responds, the speaker roles are reversed. The speaker-listener roles is reversed, at least momentarily. Because when you respond verbally, you're now putting yourself in the speaker role, and the speaker is now listening. Are y'all with me? You guys with me? I didn't lose anybody, right? I didn't lose anybody because I want to make sure. Are you guys effectively listening right now? Are we effectively listening right now? So the roles are reversed momentarily because you asked a question. So when a question is being asked, someone that was speaking, it behooves them to be silent, to listen, so that they can do the same thing that we're speaking of here to then react so that you will understand the intended message. Woo! Do you understand how the roles can be reversed at times? That's powerful. See, responding adds action to the listening process. Somebody better get that. Somebody better get that. Those folks who like to say, I'm just quiet. I just let them talk. And when they're done talking, I said, okay, it's good. No, it's not good. Oh, now I'm just letting them talk because if they talk, I can avoid confrontation and then we good to go. No. Responding add action to the listening process. See, oftentimes somebody is speaking, they look for verbal and nonverbal response from the listeners to determine if and how their message is being understood and or considered. Come on, people. Let's talk about for a second. You got the parents. Let's talk about the husband wives or the couples. She walks into the room. John, Patrick, this is what I need to say to you right now. And you are caught up into something else. See, once she entered the room and she said, I need to talk to you about something else, it doesn't matter what you're caught up in. You now have to attend. Attend simply means attention. So when you attend, you are present in something. When you attend, you are focused on something. When you are paying attention, you are able to understand something. When you understand something, you can evaluate something. When you evaluate something, then you can respond accurately. If you're with me, type 10 in the chat. If you're with me, type 10 in the chat. If you're with me, type 10 in the chat. See, there's so many different examples I can give you when it comes down to listening and understanding the tone of the speaker to better communicate their point. But see, if a listener, guys, is smiling and nodding or asking questions, normally a speaker may feel that the listener is engaged. So when you're being talked to and you're attending, right? If you're depends based on what is being directed to you. Because some things that's being directed to you, you cannot smile. Woo, I know some of y'all understand that. You cannot smile. Because depending on what's being directed to you, you cannot smile about it. You might need to nod. And then when the opening comes, you may need to ask a question. So that person will know that speaker will know that the listener is engaged. You're engaged. And you're listening to his or her message being communicated effectively. So listen to this, guys. There's an effective listener and there's an effective communicator. Woo! Come on now. See, that's why I said they got to be more to this. There's an effective listener and there's an effective communicator. That's why I said they got to be more to this. I don't know if y'all ready. You got to be an effective listener. See, there is barriers to effective listening. But I'm not even going to go down that. That's another step. We're going to hold back. We're going to hold back because I don't think y'all ready for that level. So we're going to talk about being an effective listener and an effective communicator. That's why I said there's some things that may come at you that does not require your smiling. Then there are some things that smile and a nod or asking question allows that speaker to know that that listener is engaged. But you have to, ladies and gentlemen, evaluate the situation before you do the smile. Evaluate the situation before you do the nod. Evaluate the situation before you ask the question. Here is something that I've been learning on this journey. This is so key. Here's something I've been learning on this journey. See, what we must understand as people is that everyone learns or do things different. We say we know it, but we don't. See, there is a sign of respect when there's people who hear you and they've been listening and they actually interrupted you to ask a question or to tap on to what is being said. Some of us, we look at that as disrespectful. Some of us, we look at that as saying, hold on a minute, you're cutting me off. But see, all of us, how we were brought up is totally different. Let me give you an example. So, in my home growing up, we may have grown up with the fact of something being shared and the information being shared. Everyone can jump in after hearing what they're hearing and tap in on top of that. And no one is looking at it as a sign of disrespect. They're looking at it as a sign of co-signing that what you're saying is powerful. What you're saying makes sense. Then there may be another household that how they were brought up is that when someone is talking, when someone is speaking, everyone is at a silence until that person is done in completion. It's done in completion. Then the other person now weighs in or respond. Now, see, if care is not taken, when people come amongst each other, when you start leading or you start running an office or you have your business that you've started or you're building an organization that where you're interacting with people, because everyone comes from a different walk of life. If you do not study to make sure you understand people, then here's what happens. You can put the judgment on them saying, well, look, you're interrupting me. I can't deal with you. You're being disrespectful. See, ladies and gentlemen, there is really no wrong or right way when dealing with it in that perspective. It's just two different ways. It's just two different ways. Because I may go to Miss Thompson's home and everyone is jumping up. Give you an example. If you're in a Greek restaurant or the Greeks, when the plates and the glasses break, they're celebrating. No! They're celebrating when a plate or a glass breaks. It's celebration for them. Then you may go to another restaurant. And when a plate or a glass breaks, everybody, oops, she's about to lose her job. Everybody's freaking out. So now it's understanding, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is where I'm going. It's understanding the difference. It's understanding. Remember I said the listening process. The listening process, I said, ladies and gentlemen, involves 4 stages. Receiving, I said, I talked about understanding, evaluating, and responding. Receiving, understanding, evaluating, and responding. This is extremely important for you to understand. So it is not a wrong or right way. It is, oh, well, you have done this. Oh, you don't give people the time to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, you got to evaluate and know where people are coming from. But the key in this is, are you listening effectively? Are you listening effectively? Because an effective listener must hear and identify the speech sounds directed towards them. understanding the message of those sounds, critically evaluate or assess that message, what has been said. That is the key. And then you're able to respond, whether it is either verbally or non-verbally. This is key. So it doesn't matter at what point you stepped in to ask the question, are you listening effectively? So we must understand that we cannot look at what we believe or perceive to be right, that it is the right way overall. See, this is the journey. This is where we're going, guys. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. I perceive that this is the way that it should be done, so this is the right way. Well, see, I got a rude awakening. I've been tasked and I've been in the task so heavily that I've realized, well, man, Boston, you have to unlearn some things. You have to unlearn some things. Because you cannot be a better human being. You cannot be a better person. You cannot be the best Boston if you're not willing to unlearn, to relearn, to be effective as a listener, so that I can receive the information the way that it is intended to be received, understand the information the way that it was intended to be understood, evaluate the information the way that it was intended to be or should be evaluated, and respond effectively, so that my effective listening allowed me to be an effective communicator. I don't think y'all ready. Man, I'm so fired up. I am so ecstatic. We have to literally cut it, because there's so much more to the power of being an effective listener. And I'm saying to you guys, because see, I'm so deep into this study that I've been tasked with. And I'm saying to myself, wow, this is powerful. I didn't know this. And I said, hold on, I got to read some more. Hold on, I got to, Google is my best friend. Thank you, Lord. I got encyclopedias, but guess what? Google is new information. I can go deeper. So I said, hold on, I got to pull some stuff up. I got to cross-check, reference, side check. I got to go deep. Because see, here's the thing. What's most important for me is understanding and fact-checking. Because I got to fact-check. Because I got to know what I'm saying and what I'm speaking about before I open my mouth to speak. Because the key is, if I understood or understand the right thing, then I can deliver it the right way. And that which I understood or I understand need to make a difference in me first. Because see, if it didn't make a difference in me, if it didn't allow me to think the way that I'm thinking, then I will not be sharing it with you all. I believe it's the perfect gift for the holidays. I believe it's the perfect gift for the year. I believe it's the perfect gift as you move along for the rest of your life. You cannot get a better gift than being an effective listener. So I task all of you today. I task you like I was tasked. I task you to understand that the positions you're in, no matter what, whether you're the janitor, whether you're the CEO, whether you're the person in between, I task you to practice effective listening. I task you to study deeply. I task you to be better than the person listening right now. Because you might realize that though you were listening, you weren't listening effectively. But if those things that I gave to you, if you have documented it, I say apply it. Because application leads to success. Success breeds results. So apply it. I want you guys to take this week by storm. I want you guys to go out and blow this week out. I'm on my James Brown right now. See, y'all can't see me do my James Brown, but listen, I'm gonna show y'all for the holiday time. I'm gonna have the missus do a recording with my James Brown. My team, boy, I'm going to do some Brown for y'all. Me and James, I'm telling you. I'm going to send all of you. Listen, you get the James Brown. You go to my social platform, and Boston will be doing this James Brown, okay? I want to tell you, this is the energy that I'm sending you off with this week. And I'm telling you to dance with greatness into your day, into your week. Be joyful into everything that you walk into. Let your dancing feet make the ground tremble. That whatever comes into your path that is not to be in your path will be overturned and swallowed up, because you are stepping out with energy. You're stepping out with power. You're stepping out with belief. You're stepping out because you understand the task. You understand being an effective listener. And you understand that the application of such thing will bring greatness into every area of your life. So whatever that's going on now, that has been a downer, that has been a trial, I task you all, get your energy right. Go out there, be effective, and study to show yourself approved. Guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for just attending the summit this evening. So much respect to all of you. You could have been anywhere else, but you all decided whether you stayed up or you woke up. Thank you guys so much for joining this leadership summit. We will continue with effective listening, effective communicating. It is so powerful. Thank you again. You guys be blessed and have an amazing week. Love you all.